Rio is a child who lived in poverty. Many despised him. Even so, he was able to highlight firefighters, the strongest of his class, managing to defeat all his enemies, leaving the earth to avenge his mother. The land of his parents still could not give information, so he talks to some girls, and they direct him to the village. In that village, he meets an old lady named Yurare, and he tells her the name of his parents and that he lived with his mother in a neighborhood. They agreed to visit this place when he was older, but she couldn't do it because she died when he was 5 years old, so it's the place to pay homage to them at her grave. The lady understands everything and reveals that she is actually his grandmother, and then she showed him the tomb of his parents, and he prays for them. He lives in his house with his cousin Ruby. We also know Cheo, who is one of his friends and is attracted to him, in addition to Talon, who is jealous of Rio because he thinks that he is not as strong as he appears. Despite this, Rio helps them in his village with his magic and supports them as much as possible. While the girls were bathing, they are interrupted by this guy who just wanted to watch them, but Rio stops him, so he walks away and observes. Rio doesn't like his presence, and the man tries to kick him, but he falls down, feeling embarrassment. At night, Rio gives the girls an amulet to protect them, and it helps them later when the guy tries to kidnap them. Rio appears, saving them, and gives the guy a mega beating fueled by the rage he felt when the same thing happened to his mother. The next day, the guy is locked up, and now they visit the royal family of Giacomo. Rio helps them with their duties, and while he goes to buy something, they rescue a girl from a kidnapping and quickly go elsewhere. We see that the girl's father received a letter from Yuba. He is surprised by what he reads, so he contacts Rio, revealing that he was a servant of his mother, and that in reality, she belonged to royalty. He tells Rio that 20 years ago, his father was a very talented soldier who helped them in a war. They recognized him as a noble warrior, and he was chosen as a guard for the royal family. There, he meets Rio's mother, and they quickly fall in love. One day, while they were making a deal with another region, the prince became interested in Rio's mother, so he tried to kidnap her. Fortunately, Rio's father protected her, but the prince insisted that he would only spare her if Rio's father was eliminated. They planned a forced marriage, but the king could not allow it. So, he arranged a secret plan for Rio's parents to leave the country and never see them again. He tells Rio all this because he received a letter from Yuba confirming that his grandparents are the kings who want to know more about Rio's mother. However, he also reveals the devastating truth that Rio's mother was murdered by a partner of his father. The partner entered their house by surprise and killed her in front of Rio's eyes. From that moment, Rio seeks revenge and vows not to stop until he finds the culprit. Rio's grandfather won't stop him, but first, he sends Rio to fight Coke and measure his abilities. Even though Coke is a great rival fighter, Rio manages to stop him and defeat him easily, proving that he no longer needs training. Rio promises his parents to avenge them, and he plans to leave the village. But before that, he decides to spend some extra time there. During this time, Cheo gets very sad because Rio is leaving, and she starts training for half a year to be able to surprise him. She confesses that she is in love with him, but he brutally rejects her as he cannot reciprocate her feelings. He leaves her standing, but later that night, he says goodbye more calmly. Rio returns to the land of the semi-humans, while Latifa remains there. 2 years pass without them seeing each other. Latifa comes to stay for a couple of months and asks the elders to make her a portable house. The next day, Rio wakes up and finds a girl in his bed. Rio tells her that Shay's a guardian spirit with whom he made a pact, and he calls her Heart, her name in his past life when he was a child. Heart taught him to use spiritual arts, but she no longer remembers her past life. Through their telepathic connection, Heart assures Rio that she knows everything about her past life but will keep it as a secret. She also wants Rio to give her a name, and they decide to name her Aisha, as she looks like the girl Rio loved in his other life. They go to talk to Dryas, and she reveals that she is also a humanoid spirit. However, it's strange that she has lost her memories to identify her spirit type. Dryas asks Aisha which element she controls better, and she surprises them by claiming that she can control all elements. To verify this, they engage in a battle, and Aisha proves her skills in melee and spiritual arts, giving them a good fight. It is confirmed that she was telling the truth, but she needs to improve her abilities, so Dryas decides to train her. After a while, an old man finishes building his portable house and tells Rio that he will soon return to his kingdom with Latifa. Latifa doesn't talk much about her past life with Rio, but she takes the opportunity to get closer to him in the bathtub, revealing that she was the girl who saw him in his past life. They agree to meet again. Before they leave, they receive objects to teleport to this village and another to change the color of their hair. As part of their trip, they plan to meet their teacher, Celia. However, when they arrive, they notice that she is already in trouble. To hide, Rio changes the color of his hair. They find out that the village is preparing for a wedding between nobles in the endless night. It is revealed that Celia is in the royal palace because she is going to marry Charles, a blonde noble who has mistreated Rio in the past 2 years. Rio can't believe it, and he learns that his kingdom suffered a defeat in a war, losing its authority. Now, Charles's family is supporting them on the condition of an arranged marriage. Rio knows that the wedding is tomorrow, so he sneaks into the palace to talk to Celia. She seems willing to continue with the marriage, and she believes that it's for the benefit of the kingdom. However, she would have liked to see Rio one last time. She contemplates burning the letter that she received, but at that moment, she hesitates. Celia reassures herself that her decision to marry Charles doesn't seem so bad anymore. She thanks Rio for meeting with her once more, and Rio quickly dismisses himself. However, Rio notices that Celia didn't begin her words to him, making him think that she might be feeling pressured into the marriage as well. The next day, Celia is busy preparing for the wedding, seemingly forgetting about her own feelings. During the ceremony, Charlene, who represents the other wives, treats Celia poorly, as she is the 7th family to be put into such a position. Meanwhile, Celia communicates with Rio through their telepathic connection, and he can sense her sadness and distress. Rio tries to console her, saying, "Hey, keep your composure. You should know." But before he can do anything more, he is gone, and Celia assumes it was just a brief encounter. As the wedding proceeds, Rio unexpectedly reappears, managing to bypass all the security. He grabs Celia and pretends to threaten her with a dagger. It's the perfect moment for Rio to ask her what's wrong and intervene in the situation. Rio really wants to be with Celia. He knows it's very selfish, but he appreciates her a lot, and he won't let something he cares about be taken from him. He anticipates that in the future, his dignity will be trampled on for the rest of his life. Despite her worries, she sounds genuinely happy as she tells Rio not to worry because his dreams will come true. After listening to Rio's feelings, Celia finally accepts her own feelings for him and asks for a chance together. They plan to fix the kidnapping situation, and Rio takes Celia with him. As the guards try to stop them, they manage to evade them and run over the houses. However, the Griffins continue to pursue them. Rio leaves the situation in Aisha's hands while his uncle directs the guards somewhere else. He manages to defeat all their reinforcements until he faces Fritz, a very skilled soldier with a sword. They engage in a fierce battle, and Rio skillfully blocks all attacks during the fight. However, Fritz becomes desperate and resorts to using magic and his sword to cut Rio down. Luckily, Rio manages to dodge the attack and reunites with Celia. At this point, they realize that they can no longer return to their previous lives, but Rio is happy that they can be together now. Just then, some fissures are activated, and they sense a familiar presence. As they look around, they encounter some unfamiliar individuals who try to kidnap Rio. He fights back, defeating them and saving Latifa. He is surprised when they speak Japanese, and they inform him that there are more people hiding in another house. Rio decides to check the other house, and to his amazement, he meets Miharu. This revelation surprises him, as it is the name of the woman he loved in his past life. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more anime videos.